Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Racing League presented by WTRL 2021-22 Season 2. Race number 6, Climber's Gambit. We're out here and the ladies are about to take on a sprint. We'll get the replay for you of the sprint. As I just want to really quickly do a setup here for those that are just jumping in for the first time. Watching what's happening and give a little bit of a synopsis maybe of like how insane the racing has been over the last 24 hours or so. Dave Towle, I think, it's been some of the most atrocious that we've ever seen.
Absolutely. I wish I could go back and grab a screenshot of the post-race aftermath. So the finish line is actually, this obviously today's all about climbing. There's a reason they call this course Climber's Gambit. But after the race, there's a little bit of a downhill, almost like a ski slope that runs out into a flat, then uphill. And the riders were finishing, coasting until their bikes basically just let gravity stop them and then just sitting there. Conservatively, Nathan, there was 100 racers after the race earlier today just collecting themselves. Something that you see after the hardest mountaintop finishes in cycling. This is a brutal day. There's no way around that. This is what the climbers were looking for, and they got it full stop.
100%. And you wanted a screenshot. As soon as you said that, actually, Dave, I started taking screenshots when you said
Good.
that. So we can take a quick look at exactly what you were talking about there. Yeah.
We were in the same place mentally there, thinking, you just don't see this. You really don't.
No, you don't. And so
the only place you see this is every now and then in a WTRL, in a team time trial.
After the team time trial. Yeah. Right. Exactly. That was earlier today during the EMEA, just people sitting there littered all over the mountain. So that's exactly what just went down.
I'd venture to guess that very few of them got back on their bike and kept riding at that point either. They were just too exhausted to even log out of Zwift. These women have got it all in front of them. I absolutely love esports racing, Nathan. It becomes something that you really start to just once you immerse yourself in the culture and get to know these people and appreciate how much it means to them, you start to realize how deep they dig. And that's exactly what we've got with this group. So always a competitive group. We know a lot of this cast of characters from previous seasons. I would have to say, Nathan, that this group is one of our favorites, or one of my favorites, certainly. I can't speak for you, but this has become a group of racers that I just really enjoy watching get out there every week and just absolutely have at it. So there's Rachel Lieberman back. That's nice to see. One of my favorite names in the peloton, racing out of Seattle. Angela Quick is out here with us. Catherine Monks, that's the Absque Finesse team. We've got all the Aeonian ladies, Amy Henderson, Katrina Weiss, Courtney Swaim, Josie Rosignol, they're Canadian. Kristen Yax, who's become a real force, and Yvonne Timewell, who's got to be licking her lips, getting ready for a big day out here. She's got some impressive numbers. Nathan, I could go on and on, but obviously Anna Russell is back with the Riot team. This might be one of the few times that you see Anna having the team. Anna's a racer director. I think she still directs, does she, Nathan, when she's racing?
I think I'm not positive. That's a great question, actually, because I think
might not.
I do know that the other week we had other people sitting in as DS during the during the competition. So I'm not positive that she's always DSing. Actually, I think they actually swept roles because Evelyn Gagnon the other week when she was actually sick and off the bike was DSing.
She was DSing,
and,
right.
Yeah, and Anna was actually racing. So I'm not sure when the full squad shows up. I'm not sure how it ends up playing out. Let's watch this attack from Laura Perry here real quick.
Look at Laura Perry.
WLC just going for it, because we will go back to a replay of the sprint and then take a look at the points after we see what happens with this attack, because things have already been split up a little bit. There is a chase group already off the back, and now Perry taking advantage of this little dig right now.
Yeah, and she's a super aggressive racer. This Canadian's on great form. She's been doing endurance skiing events and cross-country skiing, rowing, cycling, and skating. All of these sports are extremely beneficial to each other. There's no question. And Laura Perry's a force to be reckoned with. So this Wahoo Lacole rider really representing the team on what's been an incredible season. You can see, though, that the chase is going to be led by Watt sisters. I believe there's a lot of Wahoo Lacole riders up near the front, including the aforementioned Anna Russell coming forward. Anna Russell would give her a tip of the cap for the headband, though. That's Anna Russell's style. Anna Russell approved for sure, but Laura Perry brought back into the fold here early going. Nathan, so you said that we will have a chance to go back and look at that first sprint. We have a lot of points on offer out here today. Double points Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, double points Tuesday. Why not?
Same thing. I mean,
same thing. Exactly.
That's the same thing. Double points, tacos. I don't think there's any difference there.
Joy, yes. So,
well, I don't know. Maybe the third aspect of all of this is the climb that's coming up, and I'm not sure that tacos and double points is exactly what everybody's thinking about. Same thing when it comes down to it. All right, Afro party in the house. And right alongside the Afro party, we're going to give a big happy birthday to the plaid woman herself. Everybody in chat, I want to see a HBD in chat from everybody for Christina Grossman. And every single Spaceballs quote that you can possibly imagine should be coming through in chat right now as well.
Wouldn't it be funny? So I'm going to give a little background for folks. Nathan started, this has been an ongoing, we're probably a year into the inside, it's not an inside joke, but the joke about going plaid.
Well, I didn't start it. It was actually KK, Josh Lipka, and Christina Grossman on the 2024 Virginia, whatever. On that ride on Thursday was a big joke that she's going to go plaid, and it got recorded, and it was this whole thing, and KK was posting it, and it was hilarious. It was yeah, but it was a KK post is what it was.
So knowing that we have a worldwide audience out there, and by the way, James Barnes, I just saw your comment, and it means the world to us that you're watching, my friend. Thank you, James. Spaceballs was a movie, I'm going to say from the 90s. I've actually never seen it, but it's the movie. It has a lot of famous lines.
Somebody needs to give him the raspberry. He hasn't even seen it. What is going on here?
I know, but I know all like dark helmets.
He doesn't have the shorts with him, people. I don't know. I think that we're ending the broadcast. It's over. I'm just kidding.
It's not quite like not having seen Star Wars, but it's which I have seen. But
it's a close second.
It's close.
It's a close second.
But so going plaid, if you're wondering, to make a long story short, is the equivalent that they have. So it's a Star Wars knockoff parody movie, and going into hyperspace, which is the equivalent of what Christina Grossman does when she sprints.
Ludicrous
it's a going
speed.
plaid.
It's going ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed.
Exactly. It's going ludicrous
I need to see this movie. It sounds like it's pretty funny, actually.
Oh my gosh. I am like blown away. You haven't seen it before. I mean, it's like the Knights Who Say Knee. Like, do you not know what that is? I mean, how? Kind of
that's
thing.
Monty Python. And
there we go. At least he's seen the Monty Python. There we go. And that's like same level in my book right here. That's like same. Maybe not. I shouldn't say that. Monty Python, I guess, takes one tier above. But generationally, Spaceballs might be right alongside there. All right, there's a race going on. There's a race going on. And Riot, I heard they've got some amazing fashion going on tonight for the birthday party. Absolutely loving it.
Well, so again, that was where this conversation started. You can see the afro right in the middle there on Christina Grossman, as she is certainly, this was not a great birthday gift for her, Climber's Gambit. She'd much rather be, I would think, although Christina Grossman has come a long way as an all-around rider. Her coach, Josh Lipka, has done a tremendous job of helping her develop her skill set. She's now a true triple threat. She can do it all on a bike. So not going to say that she's useless on the climb, but there are some riders that this is what they live for. No doubt. Although, Nathan, when you look at this field, so we saw Rachel Elliott put on yet another master class out here today. I didn't see the finishing time, Nathan, but Rachel Elliott won by over a minute for the second week in a row. in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, a very competitive division. I mean, I don't know that any one of our community groups would be able to hold back Rachel Elliott today.
Yeah, definitely
Hard to
one of the
argue.
strongest. And it'd be interesting to see the times as they come out here on this course in comparison.
Yeah,
to
like
what we saw
comparing
this
your
morning.
time to Leonard Tugel's.
Hopefully it's not that bad. All right, now we go. Here we go. Open it up. It's going to be Eric Art here from the men's side of things in the America's East. OTR over the top. Can he hold on? No. He gets rolled at the line. Josh Lipka, I think, from Velocio. Might have been taking that one down. We'll have to go back to that replay, but what a kick there at the last moment. He's been watching the broadcasts, I think, because that was a slingshot and a half there coming from Lipka. As now it's going to be about molding this back together in just a second. But what a kick here. And this is always a danger spot if you slingshot off the front, because right there, that cobbles, you actually slow down on those cobbles. You can kind of punch through here. Looks like it's going to come back together pretty easily. But I always wonder if somebody wants to give it a little bit of go. Just noticed Jordan Shane in tonight. That's a big name. Watch out on this. I know why he showed up. You know exactly why Jordan showed up tonight.
World's prep.
I mean,
he's
about as climber gets. I mean, this guy wants to go full gas over the top of the mountain. That's why he showed up.
Yeah, a very talented athlete, no doubt. In real life, he's got real credentials. Jordan Shane is a Canadian living over on the West Coast, British Columbia, who we've got more to hear from him. Quick question for you, Nathan. How much do you think it would matter having a coach that also understands esports if you're specializing in esports racing, not just an in real life coach, but someone who gets what you're doing here in this specific discipline? Because this is some specialist style racing.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody tried to
it can't hurt, right?
Well, I mean, I would go as far as like, okay, I'm a mountain biker, right? And if I tried, and I'm pretty purely mountain biker, like I can jump into a crit and I've been practicing. I do a lot of road training. I could jump into a road race and do pretty well. But you put me on the track, I don't have a freaking clue, like no clue, like what,
sure.
Huh? And
it's
I think
water
it's maybe not quite that far, but it's getting like halfway there in that kind of comparison. Like, what are you even doing? Like, do you have any clue what we're up to at all? It's like maybe even 3/4 of the way there of trying to go from me being a mountain biker over to the track. It's a pretty far leap that you're going to need a coach who knows what's happening here in this virtual world. You can't just jump into a virtual world and think that it's anything. Chasing pixels is another world. That's just the reality of it.
I agree. And what you were saying about mountain biking back in the day, a little before your time, Nathan, there used to be all-star mountain bike teams that would show up at road races. Like Redlands would have Tinker Juarez and John Tomac would jump on a road team, a combine team, and race. And they did just fine. If you've got the engine, you can go from mountain to road. You just can't go from road to mountain, to tell you the truth. Not that going from mountain to road is ideal, but you can definitely pull it off. But you can't pull off going from being a road cyclist.
I stole a couple. Biker. I'd never done a road race really. I never showed up to any of them for WCA and stole a couple state champion jerseys.
Crit,
just showed up and did a road race. It happened to be state champs. It was like, oh, I got a jersey. But so I think going over from MTB to road.
Oh wow. Good
that
for
actually
you.
happened.
Yeah.
That actually happened. So I think the MTB to road is a little easier than over to crit is a little bit more because that's gets really technical.
Well, when you're going from mountain bike to road, the problem isn't physical ability; it's understanding the tactics and what these guys are trying to do to you here.
100%. It was a really hard course too. That's why it was in my favor. Like
right. The harder the course, the better for someone. It's funny. The harder the course, the better it is for someone who knows nothing about road racing.
Exactly. It was exactly. It just ended up being 3 guys. Okay, I'll go. Like sounds good, kind of a thing. So, and really I was attacking way too much. I wasted so much energy in that race. Speaking of not wasting energy, Laura Perry on the front here. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry,
you could have won that race twice, as they say. Right? He attacked so many times. Same thing with Laura Perry. She's been very aggressive out here. Let me hit a couple bullet points for you. The power-ups today. Well, the feather, the lightweight power-up, that's the key. If you've got that, it's going to come into play in that last climb in a major way. Also out here today, we've got the burrito and and the anvil, which adds 50 kilograms to your weight for 30 seconds. Make sure you
Is
use
it
that
50?
at the right
Is it
time.
50?
5
That is
0. That's what we were told.
huge. That is
Yeah.
insane
So
amount of holy cow.
they say it's like adding a Kolchinsky to you. That's what the
And half
so
of the won't leave that alone. Laura Perry now on the attack. She's going bottom to top. This is usually doesn't end up working out. Will she be able to make this happen? It's always a really brave move. Maybe forcing some of the chase. Elliot says no. It looks like perhaps it's just going to be a sprint of attrition rather than a jump away from a pack that carries you to the line. Cameron, it looks like able to take third with Riot there across the line, but it's Perry and Elliott from WLC, and then Esquada's there as well. WLC dominating today. I think they're looking to put an upset into the Riot train that's been on top of things as of late.
Well, and Riot's been dominating in this division since get-go of Season 1. So this is really what we've seen here in Season 5 is teams like Wahoo have stepped up and taken the challenge. And this is one of the first times that I really remember them putting Riot on the back foot out here. So if you're into bike racing at a competitive field, this is a good moment here. If you're Riot, this is where you need to stand up and squash the rebellion.
Look at this helicopter view here. Look at all of the scattered bikes everywhere across this thing. I mean, just a moment. That was quite the telling story there. Very small group. 4 seconds back. Molly Van Houweling, actually. Off the back here. They must have really punched bottom to top when it comes to that Titans Grove reverse here.
Well,
Henderson.
That is surprising.
Bishop.
Sarah Bishop. Seen it all day.
This is an athlete who's on my radar recently, only because I was racing in the TTT in zone whatever 19 or whatever OTR does that I do with Hayes. It's like middle, like I don't even know. It's like 8:30 p.m. It's the last one of the day, and I'm like listening in the background, like who's this woman that's in our Discord, like yelling things? What's going on? Like, and I'm like, is there a woman on our team right now? Like, what the heck? And no, I raced with her husband and she's in the background yelling at her teammates to get things moving or whatever. She was on her 3rd team time trial for a Thursday TTT day. This lady is a maniac. She is bananas for sure. I mean, she must have like 50 bananas a day. Like,
where do they live? You know where they are?
It's got to be. It's West Coast. I'm pretty sure it's West Coast. And the Bishop family, absolutely awesome. Top endurance athlete, longer endurance. I'm pretty sure tries and marathons, kinds of a thing. But definitely one to watch out for. I think on this climb, actually, because of that background, very FTP-ish type rider.
Well, good. That's some nice background. And certainly you've exposed her to be a rider to watch now for everyone. Speaking of great riders, there's Kristen Yaks. Look at this group. They're going to come together here doing some hard work. And
what is this?
I always say,
Anna's keeping
well, when you get dropped,
secret, keep it safe. Are we bringing in Lord of the Rings now too? Like, what's going on? All right. Do you know that reference, Dave?
Well, I'm aware of Lord of the Rings, but I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about.
Just leave it alone. I'll leave it alone.
The Schmeagol? Is that what we're...
Schmeagol. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Yeah. Anyway.
He's worried about people finding his ring.
The ring.
Is the
exactly.
issue. Right.
They've got one ring to rule them all in this front pack right now. That one didn't work out as bad as I wanted it to.
You're going to think I'm a creep, but I felt bad for Schmeagol.
No, you should. You should. He's in total bondage. Everybody should feel bad for Schmeagol.
He's got dealt a really
We're going to go into
crappy
philosophy.
hand.
We're going into philosophy now about why you should feel bad for Schmeagol and the bondage he had with the ring of power. Oh my gosh! All right, Grossman made the front pack. Show. It looks like, and this is a really good position for Grossman to be in actually because. She has made it so that she has a ton of time now on anybody that might be able to outclimb her from behind.
She has definitely moved on from being a air quotes sprinter into a rouleur puncher all around type rider. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
it's not fair to pigeonhole her as just a sprinter now. Her abilities have surpassed that.
I 100% agree with that. Totally agree with that. I get that Charlie Day comment a lot, actually, like in the last couple of years. I appreciate the comparison, and I hope I'm even half as funny as that guy happens to be. DZ does over in the chat at YouTube here. But it looks like we did make the catch, and Bishop will be involved at the start of this climb.
Hey, let's take a look at the inventory here, because Riot's going to bring 2 back up into this front group to fully stock the shelves now. Same thing for Wahoo. Is that true? Do they have their entire team up here? Aeonian's going to be close as well now. I think Aeonian's got all 5 back. Yes, they do. Does Wahoo have 5, Nathan? Sure. So taking a look right now, Nathan will be right back as we're kind of looking at this front group as these 2 groups do merge. Let's talk about what we've got coming up, because when you see James Barnes is in chat right now, he's one of the classiest riders and certainly just an all-around great guy who happens to be one of a dominant forces that we've had in the ZRL in Premier. And James is saying that this is the toughest race that we've done. And the reason why is the back half of this race. Well, actually, the way you race the front half to lead into the back 9 is absolutely been the story of the day. It's not long in duration. It's only going to be, for these women, it'll be sub 50 minutes. But what you go through with 1,000 feet of climbing, coming in a 6 kilometer, I guess I'm mixing my metric and English, but you're going to see about 500 meters, 600 meters of climbing in a 6K sector. It doesn't climb right to the finish line. It flattens out downhill and kind of rolls to the finish. But what you see is insane how deep the riders have been digging. It basically sits at 8, 9, even up to 13% on that climb.
Let's take a quick look at the sprint from earlier. I did promise that we would show what played out there, and there was some hard work for it. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at how that went down. This was the women's sprint as it did open up. It was Champagne from the W. Watt sisters trying to have some sort of an impact from the front of the race. Henderson there from Aeonian, followed up by, it's going to be Stephanie Clark from ATP, who's been an amazing sprinter as of recently. Aeonian on the front, looking to hold it down, unable to do so, as it's going to be Cassandra Rush. Crushing it with, I believe, Katrina Weiss coming on through. That was the situation there. And then we had earlier in for the men's, Eric Hart, as we did see, jumping in, but no, Lipka punches it to the, I don't know, did Lipka get that? Let's look at a replay here. And I think he did.
I'm going to say, right, I mean, obviously the back-end API will tell the story, but I'm going to say, yeah. It's a little tough.
Ooh, that
angle makes it really hard to tell because you're not directly on the finish.
I think he took it.
I do too.
I think he did take it. Yeah, so I think Lipka ended up taking that down.
Let's see what the Russian judge says, and we'll have a quorum.
Who's the Russian judge?
So we need a third.
You
need 2 out of 3.
I don't even know who the Russian judge is.
A fictional third person, right? So
we're making people up.
I heard
now.
Guelph the other day for the first time. Now that I'm Guelph savvy, I heard the Royal City of Canada, Guelph, came up in the news on right near Toronto. So Guelph is not that far from the United States, actually.
Look at these guys. Full gas now. They're into their sprint, their second one on the men's side of things. And we'll take a look at the points here in just a moment, but it's going to be Chin. And
there's no arch, by the way. It's just a line.
No arch. We just get a line. All we get is chalk here on the broadcast. So it's, we're
a hastily put together chalk line.
Yeah, we just throw the chalk out there. Morris Gumbel, Kilborn. Lipka's climbing good today for the sprints. Look at this from Velocio. I wonder if he's kind of throwing it all out here. Early on to grab as many points as he possibly can, kind of a thing. Or I wonder if he's going to have some climbing legs. It'd be interesting to see. Jordan, really well established here. I'd be just sitting in if I were Jordan, waiting. Look at 162, 161. I don't think he's put anything on the table just as of yet.
Speaking of Velocio, how about that ride that Kevin Bouchard Hall had? Top 10. I think he was 8th at the finish. And that was a big step up as we get ready for the World Championships coming up on the 26th. So we are less than 2 weeks away from the biggest day in esports racing. I'm incredibly excited for this. Jason Osborne is back. I was just doing some voiceover stuff, and they're highlighting the fact that he's back to defend his title. So we haven't really.
Was there anything? Has he been racing? He's been doing some Zwift stuff.
No, I haven't seen him. So
I haven't seen him either.
I'm going to be a little surprised if over the last year esports hasn't come far enough that unless. Well, you know what though? Listening to Kevin Bouchard's podcast, he does Zwift, and he might race, and we don't know about it. Because you'll see he's got a lot of Zwift KOMs. He held Alp to Zwift KOM. So yeah, he might Zwift race more than I think, because my mindset there, probably similar to you, is that esports has become so specialized.
Wait a second. Did you say Jason Osborne has the Alp to Zwift KOM? Is that real? For real?
That's what I thought I heard Kevin saying
crazy.
in his podcast.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, that means that goes to show he's not a 1 minute, 2 minute power guy only. If he's got the Alp to Zwift as well, that is, because those are two very different. Winning the world championships last year on a forward KOM is a completely different fitness type.
Well,
than
an Olympic
Alp to Zwift.
He's an Olympic
right?
gold medal winner. He's an endurance sport Olympic gold medal winner.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's rowing or skating, cross-country skiing, cycling. Anyone who can win an Olympic gold medal in an event like that has got a very special cardiovascular system.
100%. This is true.
How could you argue that? I mean,
yeah, I just
my
whether
God.
or not, but I mean, you've got to really train it to get those kind of. That's all.
Oh, and work ethic and talent, and yeah, I mean, absolutely. But you understand my point, I'm sure. Though esports requires a dedication, and I haven't seen many athletes that are so talented physically that they can show up and not know how to play the game and still win.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that you can do that anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure that's and that's what we were talking about earlier in EMEA about we are going to see. Oh no, what just happened? WLC, their strongest climber. That's Escueda. What happened? I mean, it's not on screen here. 1 second, guys. Escueda just all of a sudden on the women's race here. Apologies, but I just noticed it on my screen. Karina, this is literally their strongest climber, I think, completely full on dropout. Oh, man. That is, and I think she's going to be fine, but that is a big, what you want at this point is to be completely like fresh coming into the bottom of this.
How she's doing 6.1 watts per kilo.
175 already. You want that heart rate 20 to 30 beats lower right now.
I agree. That's a bummer. Is she going to be talented enough to just overcome this and make the front selection? Well, might as well keep going here now.
Just roll right through. Just roll right through, Karina. Don't even wait up. Use that speed.
That right there, Nathan, that is a big tell. If you're a coach or a selector or a director, an athlete with that mindset, I love it. She fought back, and now the reality of these ladies are hitting out. Andiamo, Karina. Keep it going here. So Escueda, unfortunately, I'm guessing some kind of a technical glitch. Just stay in the wheels for a bit here.
It looks like she's good to go at this point. See if she can recover that heart rate a little bit. Now, position is very, very important when it comes
to this loose climb. Is Catherine Monks.
If she can come across here and stay in that top 10, find the wheels over the top of the bridge, I think she can recover from that. Because the climb, when it comes to who's who and who's going to make it, doesn't start until after the bridge. This is just the initial scatterings that actually happen on this race course.
So what you're going to see is the first thing that happens here is the selection happens. So over this next 200 meters, the front group is forming. It's going to be huge today. Now an attack. So look how steep it gets here, up to 13% briefly as this is that OSS. We were joking about that. Only the strong survive. Well, this is the moment. Meet the moment, as they say. Huge conga line going on out here, though. We haven't really seen this much. So, I'm trying to, Laura Perry is Laura Perry the very front? Yes, she is. So
yeah, she is.
Laura
49 points. Crush it to her with 29. This is huge for WLC right now.
There. Lieberman, Elliott, Cameron, the names you'd expect. Hey, how about Escueda? Good job, Karina Escueda, for Wahoo Lacole to be up here now after what she went through a couple minutes ago. It's huge, actually. She's a big talent.
I mean and I actually was looking at her as one to win today. Her and Megan
Oh my
Rathwell,
gosh.
it was my expectation, alongside of maybe Laura Perry, Yax. But I mean, Rathwell's doing what I was fully expecting from
I'm
her.
going with
Team Riot.
Lieberman today.
You think
I like
so?
Lieberman
Really?
today. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But those are good choices. Really good. Unfortunately, Karina got dealt a bum hand there that she dumped and was able to replace with much better cards. But you wonder what this is Megan Rathwell, another big talent out here. What Riot has, it's been interesting over the last year. Riot has been solidly on top. They've watched the other teams get better and better, Nathan, to the point now where they're really being challenged.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. They definitely are gonna. They
It's not
definitely
that
aren't able to
Riot's
just
getting
show
weaker.
up. They can't just
Right,
show
right.
up and say we've just got this
Mail it in.
domination. Take it, yeah, like take it easy. We're gonna be able to play, almost to the point that they could practice stuff. Right? It's at that point
Right.
where no, you're not gonna be able to really experiment. Although
Good point.
Anna Russell, from her own, she's told me she just likes to throw, the Hail Marys sometimes. So I would watch out. She's always, whenever Anna Russell's in the driver's seat, that whiteboard move is going to be coming out. Perry here, what a day for her. 4-9 now. It's going to be Cameron now coming on through too. Riot still involved. This is a WLC versus Riot situation, it looks like. Yax
Throw
is
in a
here for
little
the Onion.
ATP, little honey for you, because Rachel's still
I'm
here.
still using the Honey Bears. I still have my own Jarvises, actually. This morning, it was in my oatmeal.
I love it. Thank you, Jim Withers. Champagne is still there for Les
I
Watts
didn't put any
Sisters.
champagne. I didn't put any champagne in, though. I didn't.
No, no. Well, we haven't had anyone send us champagne yet. We've had affogatos show up at your
sure
door.
we're supposed to ask for alcohol, but
is that in our contract? I didn't look.
I didn't actually look. No, me neither. I'm not even sure about what YouTube thinks of that. But
well, to be clear, we're not. But we are asking
I'm not
for
asking for
affogatos.
anything.
Yeah.
Affogatos are great, except for
yes.
Yeah, we'll just say that.
Leave it at that. Yeah. All right, back in with the racing now as the men are going to be hitting the climb not too far off. The women are already deep into it. You can see the damage being done. We're joking about Champagne. Well, Champagne is one of the top riders in the ZRL these days, as she has really made her mark, sitting right behind Laura Perry out here. I believe, I'm going to have to look it up, Escuela means school in Spanish. I'm going to check. But right now, Karina is taking us to school. What an effort she's making. So basically coming back from a virtual flat tire to bottom of the climb.
Shot. Look at that, Dave.
Beautiful.
That straight line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 riders all spread across the road there. 181 beats per minute currently. Cameron now coming to the front. Solid effort. 5-2. Riot taking over. It's going to be Megan Rathwell right alongside.
I was close. It's Escuela is school. Or excuse me, Escuela is school.
And the Escuela would be
small school, like burrito. Riot is the team that is. Are they going to take back over, Nathan? I saw. Did Anna Russell wave goodbye earlier? I think so.
She went backwards. It looks like. Not sure where Anna is. Anna's sitting down around 28th at this point, looking to chase down the crouching Gallopin de Spain rider.
Anna having just given birth to her third child, 4 months ago. I wonder how many women racing in this field are moms.
That's a great question.
Half is a good guess, actually. What's your guess, Nathan?
I don't know if I even want to do that. Quarter. I just say a quarter.
Okay, so not half. All right, that's the over/under is half, as set by me, right?
Taking a look here, the ladies now get a little bit more focused because we do see Kristen Yax looking to try and make a rallying effort to get back on terms with this front group. You were right about Lieberman being involved because she came back. She was not really, I mean, she was kind of fading off the back here. MJ there from Watt Sisters also grabbing the wheel of MJ. Rachel Lieberman,
now,
steady
watch
here
the
now.
ramp
Is
up.
this going to be one of these situations that we saw earlier, or is Lieberman going to fade? Because earlier we saw the Italians patiently not playing their cards until that last quarter, and then bam, Italian, wow, took down that EMEA. So we'll see if that's similar here. I have a feeling Lieberman's just riding her own race, and this is a rider who really knows where her longer efforts maximum is, where she needs to temper and where she needs to go. It looks like she's going to ride her own race 3 seconds up the road now.
Yeah, we'll see if she comes back and finds her rhythm out there. As going back to the very, very front. What a ride so Cameron, Elliott, Esqueda, Rathwell, is Lieberman just getting trailed out of this group. This is where, well, that was the men actually, but this season now you can see that Riot is still a dominant force, but they don't ever back down. Aeonian is sitting second here, just 2 points ahead of Wahoo.
This is the day for Wahoo because of that, though. Aeonian, are they going to stack the top 10? I mean, if Wahoo can go 1-2, this is a big day for them to try and make up some points in the second half of the season, 85-87, and get into a top 2 situation.
The way the points work out here, though, they might, even with a great ride, only move 1 point ahead.
Yep. Yeah, we have to see where Aeonian are at. That's the question, right?
Yeah.
I'm only seeing Henderson way back here in 21st, alongside Katrina Weiss here in 14th.
See, when you have a good day
and Yax
out here in CRL,
in 7th.
Sorry, there. When you have a good day in CRL and you're trying to make up ground on a team, you need other teams to beat them as well. Move, to get that bigger gap and maximize the points difference out there. You can crush them, but finish with a bunch of riders in front of them. But if they're still finishing ahead of all the other teams, you only move forward a little bit.
Taking a look here real quickly at the men's races, they're just starting their climb. I want to highlight that Claire Cameron is on the full-on attack, though, on the right-hand side here. 5 watts per kilogram real quick. Karina Esqueda trying to follow from WLC. Amazing ride by the 2 WLC riders. Rathwell just hanging on? 177, I think she's got something. I have a feeling that Cameron's going on the attack, while Rathwell perhaps is waiting for her moment to pounce. On the men's side of things, though, it is into the bridge section. The initial breaks have been made, and it looks like it's going to be Rule 5 alongside of some restarts here going full on backwards. And we've got a top 25 or 26 who are going to be the initiators, though, at the front. And Shane is here. 151 beats per minute. Are you kidding me?
That's incredible. Ollie Dowd is here.
I'm telling you, this guy, this is the guy to watch out for today. I think, for me, Jordan Shane, there it is, 8 watts per kilogram. There's the kick because he knows Noah is going.
Well, this is it. You're going to start seeing the big hitters coming to the front now, attacking out of this front group. It looks like things were relatively calm up until about 30 seconds ago. So Noah Balch, always going to be a rider to watch. You mentioned Jordan Shane. Here he goes. Haney, Grosicki, Crocker, Jamnicki of the Royal City, and Lewinstra. Watch out for Lewinstra. I believe that's Jonathan Jacob for the next team out here racing. Wouterswart. Woof, Gagnon. All right. These are the Lions of the ZRL squaring off on the toughest climb we have seen in league history right here, right now, Nathan. We're going to find out who's got the legs.
So in the back of my mind, I'm just kind of like watching Jordan a lot today because I haven't heard much from him in a while. And when an athlete like this is really quiet for a while, I go
Jordan Shane.
Yeah. I go, what has he been up to? And what's the current goals? And I'm like, is he going to pull a 2 goals here? Is he going to challenge that kind of a time? We're looking for, and if he is, it needs to be a 13-minute climb. right? That's what we're looking at. But he
I don't
is
think he's
that level of
that
an athlete.
good.
Uh,
Well,
when
yeah,
it
I mean,
comes to pure climber, I don't think he's as good on the flats. I don't think he's as good on the punch. When it comes to like, this is his
so
wheelhouse,
Leonard
though.
Tugels, if you look at Leonard Tugels on Zwift Power, his 20-minute is 6.7 watts per kilo.
Yeah, that's
Jordan
as
Shane, I'm
world
going to look,
class as
but
it gets. Yeah, I don't know what Jordan's
so
is. That's a good question. That's a good question.
I bet you Jordan is like, well, I'm not going to bet on it, but 6.7 is the highest by far that we saw yesterday in Premier. And I'll doubt that Jordan is in that neighborhood.
Cryo RDT in EMEA, what did they do? They did yeah, you're right. 20-minute. Noah Balk actually is at 6.0 watts per kilogram. So these boys, no, they're not up in the 6.7s. You're right about that. We'll see where Jordan ends up out here today. Maybe overestimating, but we'll see what he
Still,
ends
I mean,
up
your
doing.
point is good. I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, Leonard Tugels is a much better. People don't really know his name, but I have a feeling, Nathan, that in 2 weeks we're going to be talking about him winning Tour of Rwanda, where he's heading with his Belgian Pro Conti team. I saw some Belgian journalists were talking about him looking forward to a tremendous season, and esports really helped him.
That's amazing. Loving it. And that's what we're talking about,
Yeah,
right? That esports
winner
is going
yesterday in
to
Premier. Yeah,
exactly. Esports is going to have this discovery process, not just discovery, but you have this environment where you are training athletes to a very different level than you would otherwise in these like hyper intense situations. And I just don't think you can mimic that in any other way but what we've got through
well, and it's
Chasing
sort of,
Pixels.
and it doesn't tell the entire story, right? But it is sort of like you distill it down to sort of like a little bit of a laboratory versus the in real life on the road test. This is, yeah, there's elements of heart, and it's different when you're inside and versus outside. But you can get about 80% of the data that you need on an athlete off of Zwift as a director, just purely off of Zwift. And again, that athlete still, it is a quantum leap to be able to just make the power, make the watts versus having the nerve and the moxie to get in. I mean, just a Pro 1-2 American criterium going into corner after corner. It's not for everybody, believe me. As a matter of fact, it's not for most people. It takes a lot of nerve to do that. And if you're risk adverse, road racing is not going to be a good sport for you at
We've
all.
got the crucial points now in the race. It looks like happening right in front of us on both races. Noah Balk and Jordan Shane went to the front, set a 6.0 watt per kilogram at about the halfway mark, it looks like, and that's starting to break things apart. Jacob, as you said, from next, presented by Short, coming across. Walter Zwart following very well. Haney from Rule 5 is there, as well as Greg Gosicki, 5 seconds back now to try and make that
Also
lead group. But I
next,
think
right?
Noah and Jordan are kind of going to separate themselves, similar to what we're seeing from the women's side of things. Elliott alongside of Rathwell. Elliott's trying to break Rathwell right now with that feather power up. WLC looking to try and take it on the day. Karina going backwards, perhaps from some of those matches were burnt earlier. I think she's going to be looking to battle it out with Cameron here. This is the final kick to the line, and Elliott looks to be distancing herself from Megan Rathwell, from the Riot team. Rathwell unable to respond. The Canadian going backwards. No, 7 watts per kilogram real quickly here, though. One last rally here coming from Megan. In both of
Half
the
a K to
discords,
go.
most likely a huge amount of screaming in their ears to get across.
Well, this reminds me of watching KK, Krista Kolchinsky, trying to chase back Ashley Moolman-Pasio, the reigning world champion. She got it down to about half a second. It was an unbelievable effort from KK, coming up just a little bit short. And I don't think Elliott will be caught here either, as Rathwell just has a little too much ground to make up. There's the finish line. This one is done and dusted. What a ride from Wahoo Cole today. Nathan, I think they may have done enough. The proof will be in the pudding. We'll see if the team's got enough points to beat Riot out here today and try to move over the top of Aeonian into a solid second place. Rathwell for second. How about this? This could go down as one of the great rides, as Karina Escueda with that technical fights back for third today. I don't know my courage award.
After a technical, she is like somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds off the back, and then ends up taking
remembering
third.
1K from the bottom of the climb, she climbed an extra K out here with the effort she made at the bottom of the climb.
Yeah, amazing effort there from the WLC rider. E here from I Race Like a Girl, going to be the first of them to come across the line. Rachel Lieberman going to try and hold on for 7th, but she's got Champagne right on her heels here. We're going to see if she can pop the cork across the line. Not sure it's going to happen.
You know what they say about e-racing? It's impossible to break up a group. Yeah. What a day. Champagne. Time to pop the cork. She pops the wattage cork there.
Makes it happen. Ninth.
Lieberman right behind. Yep.
10th, Cryogen. First one for Gallopin. It looks like this is gonna be Sarah Bishop in 11th place. She was a part of that chase group, and that's quite the comeback here to be dropped on the Titans Grove reverse. Be a part of that chase group, get back involved, and then end up in 11th place overall. Solid effort here from OTR. Laura Perry there.
Yeah, she knows herself. That's an athlete who has a lot of experience. Laura Perry, very active throughout the day. These points matter, by the way, as we're watching rider after rider coming through, but they're still actually in the thick of it because the points go very, very deep. The guys are down to about 1.5K to go. So Jordan is in pretty good shape here. You were right, Nathan. I mean, Jordan sitting on Noah Balk's wheel is in pretty good shape for the amount of time that he's let Noah set the pace, although your heart goes out to Noah starting to press on. Noah is starting to open up a gap. Balch is hit out for the top of the mountain, Nathan. I love his fighting spirit, but it's going to be cover and kill for the Canadian as Jordan Shane, he has just shrugs that one off there. That really tells me it's Shane's day. I think Jordan's going to be really hard to beat.
I think he's just been following and waiting.
Oh, he has been.
Really being patient here because
he knows how to race his bike. He's very smart. Not that Noah isn't, but just Jordan is really putting on a masterclass right now, isn't he?
Very similar athletes, actually, if you look at them toe-to-toe. Jordan's sprint, though, not even close. Jordan has to drop Noah. Has to.
I wonder.
They go
toe to toe
the line. It just will not happen.
And it seems like he knows that. That last surge there was an attempt to shake him, and he realized, you know what? I don't want to work so hard trying to drop Jordan that I lose second place. Because see how close these guys are behind him? So you mess around with Jordan too much, and all of a sudden you lose second and go back to sixth. Follow me?
I wonder what's going to happen here.
It gets so steep.
Jordan now, this is his last ditch effort to try and get rid of Noah. Noah up in the 180s. Jordan now 175, 176. He's been waiting.
I'm surprised. So this is where Noah is taking an advantage right now. He's holding on. Come on, Noah.
Jordan here trying to break it. Still pressing on. 177.
7.6, 7.7, 7.8. He's going to explode the top of the thermometer, but he can't get rid of Noah. Noah has latched onto that wheel like a pit bull holding on to a steak. He's not going to drop him. He's not going to be able to drop Noah. What a race. Oh, man, these two now, and remember, a group not that far behind them.
Noah up into 184. I wonder if he's going to have the sprint.
They can't afford to play around, Nathan. They got to keep pushing.
Over the top here. 20 seconds to Wouter, though. I think they can see.
They'll be all right. Yeah, they're all right, actually.
Jordan backing
I thought it was a little closer than that.
Is Noah going to have a sprint is going to be my question, though. Oh, and he's got a feather power up. Jordan's going to have to kick immediately. Noah's got 10.7. And
he saved it. Noah Balch, you are a legend, my friend. How about that? So he didn't get suckered into using it when he was being attacked by Jordan. Nathan, that was really impressive today from Noah Balch.
Yes. Solid play all around.
Wouter for third.
Going to come through. Third place. That's a solid result.
Good job, Wouter. racing out of Arizona. Another perennial, as long as I've been doing esports commentary, Wouter has been out here. Jonathan Jacob up next. Very strong rider. A lot of
I actually
potential.
raced with Tom Smith on Sunday night. We came to
How
the
about
line together.
ATP?
We came to the line
So
together.
Smith
Me and
is
this
good.
guy. I like this guy. He actually
Right on.
he had an amazing ride actually in that 3-hour race that I did over the weekend because he was dropped. So there was these two amazing Japanese riders just demolishing us over the top. We did like a 138 over the forward KOM.
Wow.
They were pressing the pace like maniacs. He got dropped. Smith did, and clawed his. I just sat on. It was like America versus Japan. I was like, I'm just going to sit on. I'm not doing anything. Smith claws his way back to us before we hit the Essies. And we come through the Essies. I open up my sprint and well, actually, no, one of the Japanese riders went really, really early. We followed, got dragged along. And then I open up my sprint. Tom's on my wheel. Bam, we go 1-2. It was a great ride, actually. So shout out to him now jumping out here and taking this. That was like a top 10 coming from Smith. These boys to the line now. Dowd going to take, looks like 20th just ahead, and that's going to be your top 20.
All right. So this does not end the season. There's 2 more races in the regular season for the ZRL WTRL. And then that moves us into the playoffs. So we still have plenty of racing, 4 more Mondays of racing to look forward to. These guys, so everyone can always go to WTRL.racing to see all of the results throughout yet another incredible day. We've got one more round of racing. Kate Bates will be joining us from Australia as we'll pick up. These are the results from America's East Division 1 Women's. Congratulations going out to Natasha Elliott. Look at all the Canadian flags up here as well. So, Natasha, that was well earned. 4.5 watts per kilo out there today for the Wahoo Lacole Americas team, taking the win. Megan Rathwell for Riot for second. I don't know, Riot. This is interesting. It goes back and forth here with Karina Esqueda for Wahoo Lacole in third, taking the bronze medal. Claire Cameron in fourth. Michelle Jean in fifth for Les Watts sisters. They had Natalie Champagne in sixth. It's a good day for them. ATP Racing Stingers with Rachel Lieberman seventh. Emily Arcuri for CC2 eighth. Kristen Yax of Aeonian Dynamis in ninth. And then Judy Ann Park of Cryogen Gallopin rounding out your top 10. That's the A women. Nathan, back to you for the Bs.
I just want to highlight something really quickly here. If we look at this with Wahoo Lacole and then we look at this screen with Wahoo Lacole, I think they probably pulled it off today, right? Look at Esqueda, Perry, Elliott, right? And then they had those results out there today as well. So I have a feeling this was their day. They showed us that they know how to climb. And it was probably one that they marked for the calendar, I would think. So solid.
Didn't come
results.
easy.
No, and I have a feeling we're going to have to wait for anything from any of the other categories for a little while.
But they know where to go. WTRL.racing. Don't crash the site, please.
Noah Balks ends up taking it down there. 42.45. It's going to be Jordan Shane, 135. Walter Zwart, 21 seconds back, followed up by Jonathan Jacob from the next level there. Tim Smith from ATP Racing Oxygen there, 37 seconds back. Michael Kroner there, 42.69 for sixth there. Alexander Gagnon like a canyon coming on through for a restart there, 43 seconds back for seventh. Gregory Gorsicki for next level in for eighth. It's going to be Evan Haney there for that Rule 5. Harden the F up. And then Gerardo Hernandez.
Excuse me?
10. Well, do you know the rules?
That's right.
Yeah. Rule 5, people. Actually, I got told Rule 5 so much for Zwifting, but then it's like, once people go Zwift, it's like, they go do Zwift, it's like, maybe this is the Rule 5. Maybe maybe riding outside in the cold isn't Rule 5, it's just stupid.
Yeah. On ice? Yeah, are you kidding?
I mean, I don't mind
I
fat
agree.
biking. Fat biking's great here, but I kind of like keeping these extremities. I've almost lost them too many times. So,
It's interesting. Fat biking really settled in. It's like it's good for what it is. It can't completely replace because big part of cycling is the feeling of speed too. But certainly, I'm a fan of fat biking as well.
well, I mean,
Certainly,
the fat biking world, they also get really into like mega endurance events, which seems like kind of
it's
what
sort of
it.
like the Iditarod kind of thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. You got Iditarod. What's the one across Minnesota? I forget. That's not what we're thinking. There's another one across Minnesota that recently happened. Polar Roll was this past week, and Jordan Wakely won by like 10 minutes or something. It was insane. That was up in the UP of Michigan. So there's definitely a super solid. It may not be in the same.
It's a
It's not. It's
subculture.
not in the media level. I'll say that, and I do point at the media about this. It's not on the media level of the other cycling disciplines, but it's not for lack of popularity within the niches of cycling, in my
It's
opinion.
got core,
It has
core,
this huge
core
social
fat
media
bikers.
following. I mean, what they're doing up there in the UP with this that whole Polar Roll and all these different events that are going on there, they've got this crazy following. Like, if you want to get into the events, it's like Iceman or some of these other, like, you got to be there ready when they open up registration, because bam, it's gone. Like, it's kind of no joke. So when it comes to participation, it's there. It's just, it's hard to get cameras, I think, out there. It's hard to like pay any attention, like get somebody there to talk to somebody about it.
It's one of those things. It's about doing and experiencing, not watching people do it on TV.
That's true. Yeah, like it would
there's
be
a
really
big
interesting
difference
to
there.
watch somebody on a fat
Yeah.
boat.
Not really.
Like,
Yeah. But it's something. It's like it becomes. It's a niche lifestyle sport. And I fully get it. They probably right now somewhere there's a group of fat bikers sitting over hot cocoa talking about us doing esports. So
laughing at us. Oh,
laughing
trust
at
me.
us, right? So
look, we're Broken Spoke is a little split. I think my team on like what is what, right? Like, there's a lot of people jumping on the Zwift, liking it, clubs, and then some of them are like, what is going on here? Like, who are you guys? Because it's like a mountain biker, fat biker for sure.
Yeah.
Like, who are you guys?
Great example.
What is happening here? Like, you trying to bring them over has been interesting. But
well, actually, though,
then when they see the fitness, though, they go, oh, but those who just don't care about fitness and just want to drink their beers, it's a little bit different.
this actually really reminds me of when I got into cycling, Nathan, because the sport, it was such an eclectic group all the way from hippies and counterculture people to doctors and lawyers and from students to people who were wealthy to people who were scraping together money to make entry fees. It was just this huge spectrum. And I think that that's part of what made it special is the one thing that we all agree on. We can, politically, socially, ethically, just all over the place, but we all agree that bicycles are awesome. And that's a good place to start to share one common love. And then you learn to respect people for their differences because you're like, look, if Nathan likes bikes, he can't be that bad, right?
Appreciate that. We'll see. I don't know. All right, everybody.
You do like bikes, right?
I do like bikes. I do like bikes. I do like bikes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's where we start, right? The most basic assumption: you like bikes. I guess you're okay.
Share a common love, and you'd be amazed at how much you can.
I don't know if that philosophy works out on bikes, though. I'm not sure if that works out. Hey, I appreciate everybody hanging out in chat, guys. Thanks a lot. Make sure to hit those follow buttons, subscribe, like, comment. It helps out a ton with the channel. We're going to be back in about an hour for the America's West with Kate Bates sitting in my spot. Dave's going to be hanging out, telling us about how to solve the world's problems through the power of bicycles.
I'm going to go get a taco.
He's going to go get a taco, sounds like, and he's going to start on Spaceballs. That's what his homework is right now, right? He needs to get loaded up.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube for free to watch, so I've got
no
excuse. I'll watch it
There we go. You'll know what I mean by giving you the raspberry now for not knowing what Spaceballs is all about. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in about an hour. Appreciate you as always. Right on.